So I'm watching this podcast where these guys are talking about their perspective on why they think certain women are single at present or whatever else, or single for a longer period of time than some other people. And one of the things that they said, because they weren't saying anything new, and that's what kind of bothered me, that they were saying the same things that people have been saying for a long time. And at the end of the day, a lot of things that they say, for example, like, oh, well, you know, she's meeting men in the wrong places. Well, a lot of us as women are not meeting people in the same places over and over again. So that's not exactly relevant. I get it at a certain point. Maybe in somebody's life it is, but women are meeting men in various different circumstances and statuses and places and whatnot. And then they said the thing about, well, she needs to stop picking the bum dude who's got all kind of kids and doesn't take care of his responsibilities. Well, most of us are not dating that bum dude or whatever the hell. And they said, well, sometimes she chooses him because she doesn't want to be alone. She'll just grab anything that is an option as long as she's not alone. That part right there kind of bothered me, because I think that phrase, I don't want to be alone, is often misunderstood. And that's where it's a problem, because one thing I know about language, because I'm a language teacher, is that the meaning that the person who said it, the cultural meaning or the historical meaning, based on their experience, what they meant by it might not be the same thing that the person hearing it understands. You're coming from a different experience and whatnot. So allow me to break it down for you. Because I don't say I don't want to be alone, because I actually like being alone sometimes. I really have a desire to be alone sometimes. But whenever somebody says I don't want to be alone, what that phrase means is that woman wants a home base. She wants someone that she can connect with, someone that she can rely on and know that at the end of the day, whether it was a good day or a bad day, whether it was a struggle or it was a beautiful benefit or whatever, she knows she got a home base to connect with. She knows that if she faces a challenge at some point in the future, she's got someone to call on and say, babe, I need to work on this with you. That's what it means whenever a man or a woman says they don't want to be alone. Another thing is, they don't want to be alone as they grow through their life. They want to know that they've got someone who's going to consistently stay and be present, because you want to know that you have someone you can trust on. It's the same thing. We have the same needs as men and women that we did when we were children. You want to know that the people who are in your life are stable and consistent. Just like as a child needs to know that they've got their parent or their caregiver who is going to be stable and consistent. The same thing with their care level. Like whatever care that parent gives, whatever attention, the kid needs to rely on that level of care and attention being provided. That's why whenever we have certain changes and things get disrupted, that's where trauma comes from. Like, you know, whenever a disaster happens, like a natural disaster, like these hurricanes that we had this year, you know, the biggest part of that trauma is a disruption in your typical daily life, your disruption in where you get your food and where you get your security and your stability. When these things are disrupted for you, that's where the trauma comes in. So when someone says they don't want to be alone, it doesn't mean they don't know how to be by themselves. We all know how to be by ourselves. You know, we grew up in an environment where at some point we had to know how to entertain ourselves. Most adults know how to do that. So when you tell me, oh, well, that's not a good enough reason you don't want to be alone, it's because you don't understand what it means to be alone.